Everybody, it's Durgertime. Welcome to another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, Cyberpunk Pro Wrestling, where we're taking our little local to global empire and trying to make it into something other than what it is, which right now is just a little tiny, dinky little backyard federation. So, as you guys know, this is the Reborn save of this game. Unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, we had lost the previous save, and I'm looking... Honestly, I'm kind of looking more forward to this. I think we got some great ideas going on. We got some people that have kind of shown up. Some better ideas for wrestler gimmicks going on. I asked you guys for some names. One of the things I wanted to do with this Cyberpunk, I realized that, I was getting into situations where a lot of people had, like, the same gimmicks or the same personality as their indie wrestlers. There's something you don't realize when you're fantasy booking sometimes, is that it's very easy to go into a holding pattern would be the best way to describe it, where you're just kind of using them as they are as characters now. And there's definitely an element to that's based in reality and based on how in real life things are booked. Good example, like Samoa Joe as a character isn't that much different in WWE as he was in Impact or in Ring of Honor, right? Like, there's little tweaks, but he's still basically the same character. But I wanted to do something a little bit different, and we're kind of giving everyone unique characters. So you see Gaff here is actually Darby Allin, which is, somebody had told me actually he's like a pretty major face underdog character, and we made him kind of like a weird heelish gang member. It's kind of funny how that goes, but obviously things are going to be a little bit different how we do it. So we had our first show. Wasn't bad. We lost some money. We have to keep that in mind. I'm thinking about starting to hire up some more people, though, just to get them in the roster. Now, the advantage that we have right now when it comes to being this small, there's no downside cost. I could literally put 1,000 wrestlers on this roster right now, and it wouldn't cost us a dime. The downside is people will still get mad, I'm pretty sure, if they're at a certain level and they're not booked, and that can be a problem. You're still going to have problems where you're the lowest in priority when it comes to what they decide to book for their own careers. So you're going to have issues scheduling, a lot of conflicts there. But we have some options here. So one of the things we were talking about were the Dot Hawks. We were talking about maybe getting Razorhawk and Silverhawk here. So I think that's a good idea to start off, to just grab them. Going to make sure we're not doing any traveled coverage. We're going to try to go as low as possible. I'm going to give them 1 year. 300 is still a lot, but they'll take it. I'm not going to offer anything crazy. We want Silverhawk. Two-year pro, Young Lion, might be the best get of the Hawks for us, to be honest, in terms of potential for us. So I'm going to give him a 3-year contract. 240. So what if I tell you you're going to be a blue chip prospect? 230. What if I give you hiring Vita? 220. All right. I doubt he's going to make that many enemies that we're going to have to worry about it. So if he really doesn't like somebody at some point, he's going to have the ability to veto it, but so be it. So we were talking about Pillman. Some really good suggestions in the comments last time about who Pillman's going to be. I saw some ideas, some real good cyberpunk themes. The Pillman himself is not bad. I'm trying to stay away from like direct like Shadowrun themes necessarily. Definitely going to have that heavy element, but I don't necessarily want to start cribbing exact names from people. I think the one I really liked was kind of giving him a bit of maybe a Terminator theme. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to do Brian. Now, do we want to do Connor or Reese? I think we'll do Connor. I think we're going to do Brian Connor. So we're going to give him a whole different name. That's fine. He's still going to be an old school face. I think will be fine for us. But giving him a little bit of a difference. Eddie Kingston, I think it's fine. We might just make him Kingston at some point. We don't know yet. And Gaff still needs some cronies. So I'm still trying to figure out who we want to kind of fill the roster for that. I'm not really sure. Let's go. Can work in and is based in. And I want like exactly. Let's go with unknowns, rookies, up to 5 years. Quite a bit of people. All right. Let's go a little bit further, and let's say, decent heal. All right, let's go further than that. Do great heals. Nobody's great. That makes sense. They're too young for that. Good. How about decent? Okay. That's pretty much everybody. So we're not going to get much out of that. Let's go with unemployed. Looking for only people that are not working anywhere else right now, I think will be beneficial for us. Okay, it lowers it a little bit. And let's go... I think I just want to go male to further this down. So I kind of think Gaff's going to have a bunch of like druggy street criminals, and I think they're mostly just going to be dudes. Will probably work fine. Ariel Gray, 3-year pro, not a young lion anymore. No popularity in this area. Cost 280 is an option. Young lion here for 5-year pro. Who is this guy? 280. Shellac. Young. Not a lot of popularity in our area. Worked with Dan O'Hare. Dan O'Hare on here? No. I don't hate Shellac here. Let's see what your skills are. Average. That's going to be kind of what you expect. Strong heal. Performance. Kind of weak everything else. You know, actually here, I want decent brute performance. Oh, nobody. How about let's go with not awful. Just one. Okay, so we're not going to get that. Let's go with legitimate. Not awful, legitimate. Man, really nobody. All right. So, I mean, we're not going to get great options out of these people. Kefka was another one I was thinking about, to be honest. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but it's got great popularity in the region. Give him like a 1 year. 250 should be fine. I mean, definitely the character of like some weird cyber clown could work pretty interestingly, I think. So let's grab Shellac as well. I think we'll give him a 2-year contract, and we'll say you are a blue chip prospect. 260. Ugh. All right. Well, I'm not gonna go crazy here because we're not gonna get much out of him. I think I'm gonna go with Timmy Lou Retton here. He's got a little bit better than Uriel in terms of popularity. Average everywhere, decent enough for gimmicks. It's about the same. 280 versus 280. Yeah, let's go with him. The Young Lion kind of really is the thing that's going to tip it over for me. Mostly because, obviously, if they are Young Lion, they're going to get a lot of boosts in terms of skill pretty quickly. So, since we are playing a local fed, it's not going to be about buying up talent a lot. It's going to be about growing talent. So, seeing that modifier there is going to really help us because it means he's going to improve in his skill level like almost every match that we put him in. Big deal. Could be a really good get for us. 270. Jeez. All right, so let's do Blue Chip, and I'm going to give you hiring veto. 250 is a little bit better. Still kind of expensive. That's what's always tough is I feel like the prices sometimes in local to global just are ridiculous compared to being able to actually play it. You know, like that's like a fifth of our budget. You know, that's nuts. All right, let's go ahead and we do have Cyberpunk going on. Remember, we're gonna do basically a pay-per-view every other month. So this one will be like a regular show leading into the kind of bigger pay-per-view, quote unquote. I think that'll probably be the best way for us to kind of get some money. Let's go ahead and sim to it. And hopefully we'll probably get stopped for some hires, but we will see. Be right back. All right, we got stopped here, probably for the hirings. Yep. So we got Silver in. I'm going to make him a heel. Kefka, I think, also is going to be a heel. I don't know where I'm going to put them in the roster yet. We're hiring a lot of heels, but like we said, our plan is to have a few faces and mostly heels. Anything in the news while we're here? Big Show feud, WWE storyline, nothing going on crazy. Sometimes in this mod, I'm playing the Who's mod. The AI for WWE does some really weird things, and often you'll see it get into a shock stage really quickly and start spiraling out of control. So we'll keep an eye on that because we could end up having a very, very weird post-WWE future ahead for us in this local to global save. All right, another stop here. We got our other two signees coming in. Good. Let's go ahead and sign them up. Again, all heels. And let's sim to that show. Hopefully what we're hoping to see also is in that 24-day period that our sponsor money will really kind of help us basically build up enough capital to kind of perform a show. We're not going to be making money for a while. Hopefully that sponsorship deals and whatever merchandise, whatever local, Golden Eagle Diner or whatever that we got that's paying us money to promote them, they're I guess maybe they're giving us enough capital to keep the show going for one more week. That's kind of the plan right now. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so we are back, ready for our first show. Anything happen in the world? Nia Jax is not getting a contract extension. Interesting. Anything else going on? Not really. No. That's another thing that this mod sometimes does is they kind of value the female workers a little bit less. So you'll see like a max expulsion of workers sometimes, where they'll just kind of get completely bounced out just because they don't reach like a popularity quota kind of thing. Very weird. Whisper's fully fit from his injury. Good. Stella Gray had broken fibula. Ooh, let's take a look at that. That's not good. Pricks is out for 5 months. What the hell? Ugh. I didn't even do anything. All right. Normally, in these games, when people get injured, it's my fault. I don't even. Jesus, can't win. One day, someone's gonna make a supercut of all the people that get injured in just my games, because boy, it just feels like a lot. All right, let's go book the show. God damn it. All right, so only person that's not available is Pricks, because out injured, but available for angles. We do have some storylines going on. Remember, we have Kimberly going against Gaff in a proving ground, in which Gaff attacked Kimberly after a win. Neuromancer haven't really done much with this, but is beginning his reign as inaugural champion, and is issuing out open challenges. And the Whisper seems to be looking for people after having stood over Ace Austin's body, examining it, determined he wasn't up for snuff for whatever he's doing, and walking away. So with that in mind, that is kind of the direction we're going for Cyberpunk show number 2. Let's go ahead and do some locker room controls. I think we're going to just try to meddle. Eddie and that's a bad idea. I kind of Eddie's got some bad attitude sometimes. I kind of want to keep him away from any of our young upstarts because he could politic some stuff. All right, nothing that happened there at that time. We are going to be at probably a generic. Yep, that's fine. We talked about last time. We might look at it after this, maybe seeing what it would cost to buy a very, very, very cheap, like a backyard or something. All right, let's go ahead and book this show. All right, we are back. A lot of stuff going on here. We did 100 minutes. Got some local talent. We used some of that and try to put some squash matches on without killing some of our main booked people. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the show went off. All right, so we started off with a freestyle segment. Young boy Jody comes out ready to have his little underdog win or fight against it would be Nighthawk, but Nighthawk shows up with 2 other friends, and the match goes underway, and for some reason doesn't get disqualified because Cyberpunk does different rules apparently. The 2 other Hawks get a debut, Razor and Silver. Both have a cyborg gimmick. One comes off poor, one comes off great, and it got the crowd hot, actually. I'm assuming they're going to want to switch him. This might go badly, but awful. So that's not good, but we can work through that. So afterwards, after the bell rings, Jody tries to have a match against all 3 of the Hawks, who move in cybernetic unison and quickly dismantle him and end up winning. They already were hot. I was shocked that they were so hot from this. So I had to work the crowd, but guess it didn't need it. Got an E. Again, this is nothing to talk about. This is a pretty poor, if not kind of average showing for where we are currently in the local to global. But, this is going to be our bread and butter. I'm looking for anything D or higher is going to be really where I start getting excited about. Speaking about E's, we have an extremely short match. The Whisper versus Shellac, new hire. It's another kind of a squash match. Whisper basically defeats Shellac in about 5 minutes or so. Gets his debut in as an old school heel, and it goes very good. Was really off his game. Got the crowd hotter though. Whisper had a 26. He's actually pretty good especially for his age. He's pretty young. And then Shellac had a 17, and Shellac is improving his performance skills. So the Whisper gets another win, starting a bit of a streak after the second show of Cyberpunk. And afterwards, of course, he does the same thing he did last time. So he stands over Shellac, creepily scans him up and down, kind of observing him, moving his head back and forth, almost like a raptor, right? Kind of just very ominously. And he shakes his head and leaves him be and departs. So he's looking for something within his fallen foes. and can't seem to find it. It does well. E plus of 30 is not bad for us. We have a open challenge call. Neuromancer comes out and cuts a promo saying he's issuing another open challenge. And Eddie Kingston's music hits and debuts in Cyberpunk and stares him down, kind of taking the challenge. And the announcers announce that it will be at the main event tonight. Neuromancer will hold up the grand champion and fight Eddie Kingston to retain his belt. Gets an average gimmick for the street thug. Neuromancer's reign starts with this segment. It's fine. It does okay. We have a match against Kimberly versus just a local hire jobber, and he jobs for her. It's a decent reaction from the crowd. Subpar wrestling though. Kimberly defeats Anthony Gargangon, or whatever his name is, in 12 minutes and 50 seconds with a Yoshitonic. It's fine. It's just to give Kimberly a win, give her a little bit of a popularity boost. Like I said, ease. This is about our bread and butter here. This is kind of where we want to be. We want to be ease pluses for the bulk of it, and we want to be hitting our, D's and C's and maybe even a B minus here and there up in the higher part of the card. If I remember correctly how the game works, your main event or your last promo weights the entire score of the rest of the card. So you could have pretty crappy matches early on, but it weights the average towards the end, at least for the main event specifically, or the main show closer. So having a 25 here is not like fantastic, but having it at like the main event would be really bad. It would pretty much doom that show to that grade, and we're hoping we're going to get a little bit higher than that. And speaking a little bit higher, we have a segment afterwards where I don't know why Nexus is in this. I don't know how she showed up in here. Maybe she's interviewing her or something. I don't know why I must have misclicked there. Kimberly cuts a promo after her match, talking about the gaff assault, saying that he's a coward, and he likes to hide and hit his victims, and she's not afraid of putting up a fight. She talks about fighting in a male-dominated world, and how he doesn't scare her, that she has two fists and that's all she needs, kind of thing. Very like babyface kind of promo. Gets pretty good rating here, 60 C. It's not bad. Speaking of gaff, afterwards he fights a jobber. This is pretty poor actually. Decent match, decent reaction, subpar wrestling. Gaff defeats Haley Shadows, who is a local talent. 7 minutes by submission. They actually have great chemistry. We might bring her on. We could use a jobber or two, and having some great chemistry is not bad, even though this rating's poor. I mean, we're not going to get a lot out of these guys. 25 from Gaff, 21 for Haley, and Haley is improving on her Rumble performance skills. I'm going to keep an eye on her. We might move her in and fold her into the Cyberpunk brand. Afterwards, Gaff brutalizes Haley after the match, not leaving good well enough, I suppose. Decides to start beating her up on the ground, brutalizing her, hitting her on the ground, and Kimberly runs in to stop him. They square up, she faces off on him, and he backs down, retreats without hitting the confrontation. And we advance the Proving Ground Kimberly storyline, and we see the tension between Gaff and Kimberly starting to heat up, with his disrespect of other wrestlers in Cyberpunk, and her kind of becoming maybe a bit of a locker room champion to fight for the underdogs. We have a basic video promo just of Eddie Kingston before his preview. Just kind of gives, it mostly just plays, because obviously we're not televised, it's just playing in the arena, just giving people a bit of an idea of who he is, since he debuted, and he's kind of our biggest star right now, I guess you could say. So giving him a little bit of a extra rub. Does pretty okay. 42D is not bad. This match is fine. I'd kind of hope for a little bit more. It's a decent reaction from the crowd, subpar wrestling. Eddie Kingston defeats Neuromancer in 17 minutes by pinfall, and wins the Cyberpunk Grand Championship. They both retiring by the end and went maybe a little bit too long. Got the crowd buzzing, though. So that's pretty good. If the crowd's buzzing, that's kind of where they blow their momentum, they blow their pop. So you kind of want that to be at the end of the show. Otherwise, your rest of your events are going to be hurting. So we did our job there in terms of building the momentum of the show. So that's good. Eddie Kingston had a 32. Neuromancer had a 20. Not great. Advances his storyline. Like I said, we're probably going to start moving down towards the mid cards. We're going to have some matches back and forth between him and Kingston and stuff like that. But we're going to have him slowly start to go backstage or go into more of an occasional wrestler act. But we're going to keep him on a lot here. I think as a gatekeeper, because he's free. He's us, right? He might not be the best wrestler because we made sure we didn't overestimate his skills. I didn't want to do that because that would be kind of unfair to have this free wrestler who's also great, who's also going to be our star. I just think that's too easy to book it that way, right? He's not a great. Remember Neuromancer Stories. He's not a great wrestler. He's fine. He's competent. He's got good basics, good psychology, great road agent. Never really had what it needed to be in order to kind of make it a star. And we're going to play into that in his role in the company. Even though he's backstage booking everything, he's going to book himself appropriately. Gets a 29 in E. I was really hoping for something a little bit higher than that. It was booked a little bit smarter. It was definitely too long of a match, and we hurt from that. Haley's Shadows was used too much. We used her only once, but I guess she was too high on the card. Increased her popularity in one region. I think everyone did a great job, though. There was somebody that was a little off their game, but I think I was fine. I think everyone did great. Give everyone props. Not everyone was here, obviously. We didn't put everybody on the card, but didn't do bad. All right. So Cyberpunk, what was our results? So 36 D minus. It's fine. Not much you can, I guess, get out of the crew that we had. Really, the question is how much money did we spend? Not bad, actually. We spent $1,700, but we gained about. Well, it was actually negative. We gained about that from our previous show, and we spent about that. So we're breaking even. We're getting looks like about 3,000 in sponsorships a month. So we're going to dip in this month because our next one we're going to have a pay-per-view. But we'll make out okay. We won't make tons of money, but we just kind of want to stay around building a decent amount of profit. And what we'll do is we'll start to build up a little bit of money and blow it on the pay-per-views for like a bigger name regional star or something like that we can put on there to kind of boost some momentum. We are moving up a little bit in momentum. We're pretty much going to get one notch of momentum at a time. It's going to take a long time, but there are ways that we can start to increase it. Like I said, we can start to bring some more well-known people in as guest wrestlers, and that can definitely boost the ratings a little bit. It's what we did in the previous run before we did the Reborn, and we'll keep that in mind. But I think we have a very talented crew here right now. A lot of workers that are pretty solid, that I think are rather inexpensive, and that we can probably do a lot with. So we'll keep that in mind. We're really going to be focusing on building them up over using major names. We can go slow and steady. Not a big deal as long as we are making money. Anyways, guys, that was our episode of Cyberpunk Pro Wrestling Reborn. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you next time.